evening. Welcome to the Yorktown Central School District Board of Education meeting for June 4th, 2018. Can I have a motion to go into an executive session for the matters pertaining to the employment history of a particular individual and negotiations under the Taylor Law?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Thank you. Can I have a motion to go back into public session?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good evening. Welcome to the Yorktown Central School District Board of Education meeting for June 4th, 2018. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence for our armed forces and those in our community who have lost loved ones, especially remember the grandfather of Sean Carney. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. It's a nice night here tonight. We're going to start with public comment. If there's anybody wishing to speak on agenda-related items? Okay. We're going to go right to the superintendent's report once Mr. D'Alessandro sits down. All right. Ron, it's yours.
It's okay, I'm just going to make my way to the
Go ahead.
Good evening to members of our Board of Education, Mrs. Carbone, Mr. Magnani, Ms. Bose, Mr. Bisaccia, who's not here this evening, Mr. D'Alessandro, Ms. Reynolds, and Ms. Roll. Good evening to my colleagues, both from district office and from our school buildings. I especially would like to welcome, as I back up so I'm out of the line of view here, I'd especially like to welcome our wonderful school partners. This evening is School Partner Recognition Night, as well as the presentation of the Foundation for Excellence grants. And this is such a special evening for our district to be able to honor and celebrate the outstanding work of so many wonderful volunteers. Your service to our district is so deeply appreciated. You give countless hours to support the work of teaching and learning in the Yorktown schools, and we are grateful to you. A famous quote by William Arthur Ward comes to my mind. Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present but not giving it. Today and every day, we say thank you to our school partners. You make Yorktown the special place that it truly is. And there are so many school partners here with us this evening, and it's a testament to the work of our community. And that's one thing that I take a lot of pride in Yorktown, is the wonderful community that we've established here. And it's not just one group or one person or one organization. It's a collective effort for the betterment of our district and to support our students. At this time, what I'd like to do is I'd like to invite each group up. I ask that you just briefly speak to what you're most proud of in your work this year, what you're happiest about, what went extraordinarily well. Just a very quick, and I think in the email that was sent out, it was a very brief, I'll just emphasize brief once more. So I know Lisa Tumney is here this evening, and she's representing the district PTSA and the middle school PTA, so I'd like to call Lisa and her board up to the podium first.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having us. It's an honor indeed to be the honoree for the evening, so thank you again on behalf of the entire board. Just briefly, one of the things that I think we're most proud of as a board is continuing to foster the ongoing collaboration between the buildings, sharing best practices, and also this year in particular, we've kind of solidified operating efficiencies by creating an audit committee. That's one of the challenges that we've had year after year in all of the buildings. So by working together, we're able to get those audits completed in a timely fashion. And then also just sharing ideas and exchanging thoughts on issues that have been brought to us by parents. So just the ongoing collaboration, I think, is the most important thing that we do as a council PTSA. I don't know if my co-board members would want to add. But thank you again for honoring us.
At this time, I would like to acknowledge our wonderful high school PTA. Our high school is such a booming place. There's always so much going on, and the work of the PTA is so integral to the work that we do. At this time, I'd like to welcome Maria Roll and her board to the podium.
I am not Maria Roll, but that's okay. No one really wants to say Onitsevich, so I know that's what it's all about. No, Maria actually had some minor surgery, so she couldn't come tonight, so we're covering for her. And of course, I took notes. You know, it's funny when you get to the high school like PTA, it still really is a thing, except we have students too, so that's an important thing that the students are able to join at the high school. And I think the thing we're proudest of is the review classes that we facilitate. So students are able to take SAT, ACT, and grammar classes using our own wonderful teachers in an effective and affordable way. And it provides a service to a lot of students who can't afford those other places with the big names. And it really does make a difference in their getting into college. And the other thing is we always try to attract parents and students to come by having speakers. So Mrs. Servini helps us get wonderful people, including talks on naviance and social emotional learning. We also did senioritis. So we really feel like we do make a difference at the high school, and we hope to continue to do so. And thank you for such a lovely thought. This is wonderful. Thank you.
So I do know Teresa because we've sat through about a dozen WISE presentations, maybe 24 WISE presentations together. So I have to tell you, every time I walk into a class, I'm so impressed and so amazed to see Teresa sitting in the back of the room. It's so amazing. At this time, I'd like to acknowledge our wonderful Mildred E. Strang Middle School PTA. So I'm going to ask Lisa Tomini and her team to come back up to the podium.
So this is not deja vu that the three of us are back up here again. We have a little bit of overlap this year between the district and the middle school PTA. But again, we're thankful that you're acknowledging the buildings and the great work that's done by all the parent volunteers. At the middle school this year, I think there are two things we're extremely proud of, all kind of centered around trying to grow along with our older children as they transition from Crampon into the middle school. So two of the things that we were successful in doing this year were, one, implementing a electronic communication platform so that we're better able to communicate with families. As many of you know, there's very little paper that gets sent home at the middle school level. So it becomes even more important to establish the electronic means of communication. And then the second thing is implementing a parent workshop program, which we were very happy to see great participation from many of the parents. The three that we put into place this year were, what did we do? Oh, a study skills presentation for the increased level of workload that middle schoolers experience and sometimes struggle with as they enter the middle school. Secondly, an internet safety presentation that we collaborated with the police department and the Alliance for Safe Kids on. And lastly, a vaping workshop presentation that we conducted along with the high school PTA, which is of great importance to families and parents as they transition from middle school into high school years. So we're hoping to keep that up in the upcoming year, but two things that we worked very hard to implement and are proud of. Thank you for giving us the chance.
At this time, I'd like to welcome our PTA president for the Crampon School, Mr. Ron Fideli, and his board.
Good evening. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone for this honor. Absolutely unnecessary, because I think we all do this out of the goodness of our hearts and to set the example for the next generation coming up. I've always considered it a privilege to serve in any capacity in the PTA for this district. And I think that I have to thank first and foremost all the people who have served with me, who've helped me. Lori was able to come here tonight to represent our board. Unfortunately, some of the other members couldn't make it. Two things that I'm very proud of, and I think that they extend beyond just our school district. I would think that this year we've worked even more in partnership to help those who need a little bit of help, whether it was supply kits for some of the kids as our demographics change, whether it was helping to give money for a field trip, which I just did today for 7 students who needed assistance for the 4th grade or 5th grade trip. But the biggest thing that I'm proud of is what this might be doing for the young people that hopefully are looking at myself and my volunteers as role models. We were down in Tennessee for DI, and Lisa Tomney arranged a wonderful dinner for the last night, and there was so much food left over. And she's like, well, we gotta take it. And what are we gonna do with it? I said, I got on the phone and I asked the manager, I said, is there a place that we could donate this food to? And they said, absolutely. So myself, some of the young people that were there, started to pack up the food. And just the empathy, the kindness to extend what we are doing here in the Yorktown district down to Tennessee, to me was priceless. To see young people be excited and say, wow, this is fun to do this. We then drove about a half a mile from the campus to where there was about 200 people living under an overpass of the highway. And my son was in the car and another boy was in the car, and they really, it really hit them that now what they learn through adults in PTA and volunteering and helping others is now helping people 700 miles from our house. So the most thing I can be proud of is that hopefully as a model, young people can then pay this forward and we can continue helping all of us, because there is no excuse that people in this country are wanting for food and shelter. So hopefully that could be the message that we send. Thank you.
This time, did I see Stephanie Brady come in from Brookside? Is there anyone from the Brookside board here? Okay, I did not get a response, so I'll assume. But obviously, thank you to the Brookside PTA. They sponsor so many wonderful activities for the students at Brookside. I've had the opportunity to attend some of their events and their functions, and they're just wonderful. What a child-centered organization they are. And from one child-centered organization to another, I'll transition to our Mohansick PTSA. So our PTA at Mohansick is absolutely wonderful. They're so supportive. Dana Alonji is the president, and at this time I'll ask Ms. Alonji and her board to come up to the podium. Thank you for everything. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening. I think this along with just everything in our district, is what makes not only Mohansick, but the Yorktown Central School District just such a tremendously special place. It's such a privilege to be a part of it, to have my children be a part of it, and these amazing ladies standing behind me, they have helped tremendously this year in bringing a lot of things that I'm proud of to Mohansick, but I'm going to touch on one, and that is our One School, One Book initiative. We started 3 years ago, and I'm truly proud of it because it involves not only our students, but our parents, our faculty members, our district, our bus drivers. It truly brings our entire community together. And for this, our third year, we decided to change things up a little bit, and we took a risk, and we had a tremendous trip to the Bronx Zoo, and I'm incredibly proud of that. So thank you for making all of this possible.
For the kids to listen to. Thank you. We have a wonderfully supportive Foundation for Excellence here that in a few moments will be speaking of the wonderful grants that they've awarded for this school year to our teachers and to our administrators. They're just so supportive. There are so many wonderful events that they sponsor. There are so many wonderful ideas that they have. And at this time, I'd like to welcome Christine Menical, and I see Christine Dunn there as well. Welcome.
Who knew? I said, gifts, who knew? Thank you very much for honoring everybody in the community. I think this is really cool. The Foundation for Excellence is a volunteer organization whose goal is to help teachers of the YCSD bring timely and innovative and creative programs into their schools and their classrooms. Each year, educators are encouraged to submit grant proposals to the Foundation for Excellence. And throughout the year, we sponsor various fundraising campaigns. This year, I think, we're very proud of our Family Photo Day, which is gaining more and more momentum. We do pictures at Sparkle Lake in the fall, and lots of families take advantage of it and do their Christmas cards early here in Yorktown. And also, I think some of the big things that we did this year were our various catalog sales and the amazingly successful, totally awesome 80s night that the foundation did sponsor this year, which was an awful lot of fun. We will raise funds, and then we sponsor as many grants as we can. I think what we are most proud of, Christine and I together, really are the amazing volunteers that work with the foundation. And this year, we had parents from every school, so I thought it really was a community-based event this year. And they are awesome. They come to monthly meetings at night when they're supposed to be home with their children, and they escape and come hang out with us for an hour and a half. They help market and advertise and run every single one of our events. Experience of the students of Yorktown. So I think we're really most proud of that. And thank you very much for helping us.
So when I was first hired in Yorktown, I was told about sports and how important sports were. And the Yorktown sports program, the athletics program, has been wonderful. And a huge supporter of our athletics program is our Husker Club. And Jay Boyer is the president of the Huskers Club, and he's been a wonderful partner to both Mr. Barrett and myself and our district, and certainly our high school administration as well. At this time, I'd like to welcome Dr. Boyer.
Oh, all right. Anyway, As the sports booster club for all the high school sports, our success is really predicated first off on the hard work and dedication of my fellow officers, Teresa Ostanevish, I said it right, man. I almost did it. I did. I get it right. Who's our vice president, Debbie Weaver, one of our secretaries, Chris Vogel, our treasurer, who cannot make it today, and Josephine DiPolito, also one of our secretaries. That without their hard work, our success would not be where it is today. To update you, the last time I spoke to you guys was about our concession trailer, and it's rocking and rolling, bigger and better every year. It's been really a huge, huge success, and more schools come and see how envious they are that they want something like that. That's how great it's been, and I thank you guys from a few years ago for allowing that to become a fruition. We have our high school senior sports dinner next week, honoring our student athletes, seniors who will be graduating and moving on, and to honor them for the years of dedication. We also have the scoreboard, the upper grass scoreboard that we bought for the upper field. So every field can have a scoreboard so people can know what's going on. And our latest big thing, I told Ron here, with part of our school's East Team initiative is to one day put in a huge jumbotron type scoreboard, which not only is for sports but encompasses the computer science students, let them learn real world computer science programming and see what it in real life. The AV students in TV production, learning how to do those kinds of attributes for when they move on into their careers going forward. So that's our big nut that we're going to be hopefully embarking on soon, but we'll keep you posted as we progress along. But thank you again for this honor and everything. Thank you all.
One thing about my first year here in Yorktown has been spending a lot of time with our students in the fine and performing arts. And firsthand, after 9 hours on a bus ride with our pep band, there is no other group of students I would rather have spent 9 hours with than the band. They're just such a wonderful group. We enjoyed stories and hearing them practice as they were on their way up to Syracuse, Burger King, and everything in between, which I'm sure you've heard about, including a picture floating around with me wearing the Burger King crown, posing with about 50 of our band students. So I'm still looking for that picture if you come across it. So at this time, I know Maria Elena Cerrone's not here, but I do see Jennifer, and I do see some members of the board, so welcome.
So, Maria Elena is not here, not because she didn't want to be, but she's actually celebrating her 25th wedding anniversary, and I'm sure if she knew of this evening, she would have rescheduled. But the First Nighter supports the performing arts in the Yorktown School District, and there is nothing more worthy of celebration than the talent of our kids in this district, because they are absolutely amazing. The thing we're most proud of this year is upgrading our awards banquet to the now large and glamorous event that we've done at the Putnam National Golf Course, and we're hoping to be able, with support from our members, which are mostly the parents of our performers, to be able to keep that up for years to come. We want to thank you all for your talented students and for letting us support you for all these years. Thank you very much.
The next group that the board and my colleagues in district office would like to acknowledge are the parents in our Science Research Foundation. What a wonderfully supportive group. We just recently had our Science Research Symposium, which I'm sure they would agree was just remarkable. I couldn't imagine a better night of celebration of science and of research. I was so proud of what our students have shown, and I'm so honored to be able to work with such a committed foundation. So I'd like to welcome Mrs. Kyer and her board.
Again, I'm Lisa Kyer, and our function is to support the students in our district who have a passion and an incredible love for science. And it can be anything from music all the way to cell death or cancer research. To see what they're doing is amazing, which is we all enjoyed the other evening, and they showcase their projects. The function of the board is to support anything that the teachers need in the classroom. It could be something as simple as a Halloween celebration, all the way to perhaps a new floor in the room that the seniors have as a lounge. And I think I'm most proud of the fact that the students that we have are grades 10 through 12, and there is no barrier. When the students go into that program, they understand that they all have the same passion, and no one is a 10th grader, a junior, a sophomore, junior, senior. They're all one family, and that's how they perceive one another. And I think I'm most proud of the fact that we've done made a lot of opportunities for the students to come together and realize that they're one team. Lots and lots of effort has gone into that particular function of making them bond together and feel like they're one family. I would like to take 1 second and introduce you to the board, and there's a reason for that. I have Wayne Howard, who's the treasurer, and he goes door to door and funds everything we need, and he's really good at it. And then I have Radha Anand, who has a junior, so she'll be staying on next year. She's the vice president. And then I have this lady, come close. She has no child in the program. She just loves working for science research. And she's our alum board and our voice of reason. So if we say we need $5,000, she says, oh no, I'll give you 500. Then you justify the rest. So I'm proud of all of them. Thank you for indulging me to introduce them.
And finally, we have, well, not finally, but we have another wonderful group who feels like they're just such a part of our school community, and they've had representation at every single WISE presentation that I have attended. It's been absolutely wonderful to forge a relationship with the Alliance for Safe Kids, and I heard so many wonderful things upon my entry to the district and being able to work hand in hand with most of your board. It's been such a wonderful, wonderful experience. You provide such wonderful programming for our parents, such wonderful programming for our students, and you make Yorktown a better place. So I appreciate everything that you do. At this time, I'd like to invite Mrs. Talbert and her team to... and Mrs. Christopher.
I would like to thank the board for this wonderful recognition this evening and for recognizing all of the community partners that are here in the room. There's so many familiar faces, and I feel like our paths have crossed many times as we've supported one another over the years. There are many things that I'm grateful for and proud of. But one of the things that I am truly grateful for, and I know I speak for the entire board of the Alliance for Safe Kids, is the wonderful relationship and collaboration we have had with the school district for 11 years now. I was thrilled to meet Dr. Hatter back in September and talk about how that may continue. And we are looking forward to an exciting school year next year. With lots of programs, as like Dr. Hatter mentioned, for students as well as parents in the community. One of the things that I am most proud of that we achieved this year is hosting a wonderfully successful Save a Life. Save a Life 2018 had over 300 students and adults in attendance that came together and received wonderful information and resources that was provided to them by amazing professionals that volunteered their time to be there. And I would like to share, if it's okay, that we're very excited that Save a Life 2019 is going to be held at Yorktown High School. Yeah. We're very grateful for that in advance. So thank you again so much for this wonderful recognition. And I would just like to introduce Trissy Kushner, our board president, who would just like to say a few words.
Thanks, Liz. I just wanted to mention the other side of partnership. We appreciate that you're looking into the community and honoring everyone. First of all, I think everyone will agree that we've seen these faces go from elementary school to intermediate school to middle school to high school, and then over to the Alliance for Safe Kids, and every single face on the board I've seen for 15 years in the community. So this partnership is, even though you're recognizing the organizations, I think it's an amazing, wonderful partnership of everyone in this room. And I think our community and our children are so fortunate because of every single person here. And thank you all so much for what you do.
That's a great organization. Thank you. I hug everybody. Finally, there is just one other group that I'd like to acknowledge tonight, and this group plays an integral role in the governance of our school district. It's our wonderful Board of Education. Yorktown is so fortunate to have 7 extremely talented people who so generously and so graciously volunteer their time for the betterment of the school district and the betterment of our community. There are many things that you know about our board, especially if you watch our Board of Education meetings. They come together twice per month for anywhere between 2 and 4 hours for meetings and work sessions. They ask questions, they provide updates, they approve recommendations, they celebrate the great work happening in the district. What you likely don't see are the 3-hour policy meetings that happen monthly so that the board can ensure that our district sets policy that's consistent with ever-changing school law and requirements from the State Education Department. You may not see the dozens of hours our steering committee invests each year to ensure that our facilities are commensurate with the high-quality education taking place within its walls. You won't see the dozens of hours spent poring over voluminous audit reports to ensure that we are responsible stewards of taxpayer monies. You likely won't see all of the other amazing things that our Board of Education does to ensure that your children and my own children are receiving the best possible education available to them. So I thank you. We're going to honor you this evening. So there's a certificate, and it's signed by Ms. Lisa Davis, Executive Director of the Westchester Putnam School Boards Association. It reads, in honor and recognition of those whose support of public education, commitment to educational excellence, and dedicated leadership have enhanced the quality of education for all students in the district. And it's signed by Ms. Lisa Davis, and it's also signed by myself. Yvette has them. She'll be distributing them. And you may be wondering what's in the green bags that you received. And so I'd like our board to open those up. And you all have them there as well. I think there are 2 in yours. There's only 1 in theirs. You may have heard this thing, e-steam, at some point. I'm sure you've heard about it just a little bit, vaguely. You'll be proud to see our branding of that, and they're e-steam Yorktown tumblers with the logo designed by high school junior Ryan Seraphin. So to our wonderful board, we thank you for all you do. Tonight, we thank you for all you do always. And to our school volunteers, there were so many different groups. You're all pieces of the whole child. And you all represent what goes into putting that whole child education together. Without even one piece of the puzzle's not quite fully put together. The mosaic isn't quite as beautiful. The tapestry isn't woven quite as well. So thank you for all you do tonight, tomorrow night, always. We appreciate your service to the district, and the board and my colleagues wanted to acknowledge the wonderful work that you do. Thank you all. And so at this time, and this is the last part of the superintendent's report, I promise, the district's so fortunate to have so many of our wonderful volunteer organizations. We have with us this evening from the Foundation for Excellence, Ms. Christine Mennecal and Ms. Christine Dunn. And I just want to first begin by congratulating all of our faculty and staff who were awarded grants by the Foundation for Excellence. I thank you for seeking out supplemental funding to support the creative and innovative ideas that you have for your students. I also thank Ms. Mennecal and Ms. Dunn and the rest of the team for your work in supporting our students, your work in supporting our faculty, our staff, our district. You're tremendous resources to our district, and we thank you for your tireless efforts. And at this time, I'd like to invite the foundation up to the podium to share with the board and with the community the results of the grants.
It's the Ed McMahon moment for the foundation. Good evening. My name is Christine Mennecal. My vice president, Ms. Christine Dunn, is behind me there. Thank you. As the president of the Foundation for Excellence, I have the honor of being able to make 3 presentations on behalf of the foundation every year. The first is at our annual dinner and dance, when we honor community members who embody excellence in our students. And this year, we were very happy to honor Mrs. Lisa O'Shea, who is here this evening, for her commitment to excellence in our schools. Thank you, Mrs. O'Shea. The second thing that I get to do is tomorrow night, when we will honor 2 graduating seniors with $1,000 scholarships for their commitment to excellence in education and in their community involvement. Those will be awarded tomorrow at the Senior Awards Dinner, and I am sworn to secrecy, so I cannot tell you who those will be given to until after the award ceremony. And the third is tonight. Tonight, we present the Board of Education the teachers whose grants will be funded for the 2018-19 school year. This year, 18 grants were submitted to the Foundation for Excellence, and with the help of the Yorktown Community School District, which is funding 3 of our grants for a total of $13,230, and a partnership with the Yorktown High School PTSA, who will be funding half of a $6,800 grant to benefit the students at the high school, we were able to grant 17 out of the 18 submitted grants this year. So the total funded amount will be $40,864.39. Very, very, very cool stuff. The foundation is proud to present the Yorktown Central School District and the Board of Ed with a check for our personal part would be $24,234, and an additional $3,400 from the helping us out from the high school PTSA, for a total amount, which I have to read off the check, of $27,634.39. Ooh, sorry, thank you, Christine. I also wanted to recognize this year's award recipients. And when I'm done announcing everybody, if you guys could come up and take a picture with the big fancy check, and Dr. Hatter and Mrs. O'Shea as well. Regina Stanton will be creating educational video games with Bloxels. And Kathy Del Bazo and Erin O'Neill will be getting down on the ground level with their kindergarten students with Scooting Around Kindergarten. Fern Michelle will be doing a breakout room team building escape exercise at the middle school. Ray Cavallo, Ernie Delvecchia, and Erin O'Neill will be adding to outdoor activities for the students at Mohansick. Victoria Garrett will be helping the Yorktown Robotics and Engineering team. Adele Kivel and Carrie Burns will be painting for meditation and success at the Crampon School and empowering their students with robotics. Mrs. Wan will be putting some wobble chairs for small group learning and kindergarten playground activities at Brookside. Michelle Monaco will be with us and the high school PTSA bringing MBA star Chris Herron with his unguarded conversation to the Yorktown High School students. Mary Lou McIntosh will be producing and creating an education morning show here at the middle school. Mrs. Kivel is going to be getting some flexible learning environment seating in her room. Carol McAleer will also be bringing alternative classroom seating into her room at Brookside. Lauren Conciatori will be enhancing the database question project at the high school. Mrs. Roberts, Mrs. Berry, and Mrs. Ammerling will be helping to establish eSteam in their schools. And Mr. Moore is going to be getting a Flash Forge 3D printer. And Mrs. Gannon is going to be doing a serious Top Chef cook-off with her budding chefs here at the middle school. So I invite all the teachers to please come on up and help us out and take a picture and celebrate them. Thank you very much.
I know it to be nice, right? We just want to thank all of our community partners. We could not do what we do without the help and the support of everybody in this room. And it's a blessing to have you in our lives and in our students' lives, and we're so grateful, and we're happy that Ron suggested that we honor you. We should have done it years ago, and we're glad we have the new guy to tell us to do it now. But we do thank you for everything. Your hard work does not go unnoticed with what you do, so we just want to thank you all.
So we still have a very full agenda to tackle, so we'll take a very brief 2 or 3 minute recess to allow you to make your way to the exits. Thank you so much for joining us. You're welcome to stay. You're welcome to stay. Absolutely welcome to stay. Have a great evening. Thank you all.
Be it resolved that the following exhibit shall be deleted from the policy manual because it is obsolete, and probably says, it's a first aid exhibit. Then, do we have a motion? We don't need a motion. It's a motion, no. We need a motion for the deletion. So can I have a motion to delete that policy? So moved. All those in favor? It's not actually a policy, it's an exhibit. And then we have a first read. It's the first read on the 8120 Accident Prevention and Safety Procedures. No, we're actually calling it accident prevention and safety. It's not procedures anymore, if we look at the policy. The file's correct, but it's not written here correct. All right. So were there any questions on that? There was, if anybody looked, the last paragraph was a little funny, but we changed that this morning, so I don't know if anybody had a chance to look at the update on it. Yeah, we're good on it, okay. Thank you. So we're going to get on to personnel. Okay, now that we came back up. Okay. So on personnel. Okay, maybe it's not coming up. I'm sorry, the computers are slow.
I got mine.
Yours is loaded? All right, let me have yours. Okay, upon recommendation of the superintendent, a motion that the following be approved. We have certified personnel appointments, part-time appointments, and temporary appointments. We have the appointments for our extended school year program. And where else do we have? Regular substitute appointments. In addition to the substitute list, we have a leave of absence to approve. We have volunteer coach appointment, 2 volunteer coach appointments. Under classified personnel, we have, in addition to the substitute list, we have a leave of absence, and we have 2 resignations, Barbara Brandt and Cheryl Martin.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution. Be it resolved that employee number 5300 be placed on administrative leave effective May 31st, 2018 through June 14th, 2018. Paid administrative, that's what I said. Placed on paid administrative. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. My computer, give me a thing. My computer is not acting properly.
Sit at the top, resolved upon recommendation.
Resolved upon okay, we have business office. Resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent of schools that the Board of Education authorize the board president to sign the agreement with Manpower Group US, Inc. to provide clerical assistance support to the PPS department from June 4, 2018 to August 31, 2018 at a cost not to exceed $9,000. A copy of this contract shall be incorporated by reference in the minutes of this meeting.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? School monitors. Motion to establish the rate of pay of $20 per hour for school monitors hired for the 2018 summer programs being held on the Yorktown High School school campus. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Finance manager. A motion to approve the finance manager renewal pricing for the 2018-19 school year in the amount of $30,728 pending receipt of the insurance documents.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Special ed, a motion to arrange the following special ed placements as of June 4th, 2018.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We have a settlement. Resolved that the Board of Education approves the terms of the settlement and release agreement involving the student alt ID 007004647. Be it further resolved that the Board of Education does hereby authorize the superintendent of schools to execute such settlement and release agreement on behalf of the district.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Gifts, grants, and donations. This is in addition to the very generous grant from the Foundation for Excellence and the PTA. The Yorktown High School, we have $12 from Your Cause LLC Trustee for Life Employee Match Program at Crompond, $15.75 for a bee pollination workshop for the 5th grade. At Mohansick, $1,050 for a bee pollination workshop for the 3rd grade students. And the Carol Jacobson Fund, $10,000 from Gilbert Jacobson for the Carol Jacobson Fund.
So moved.
Discussion, how much has Mr. Jacobson granted us so far?
I believe we're almost at about $25,000 in the aggregate, so his generosity and his family's generosity is so deeply appreciated by the district.
That's wonderful. Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, we are up to board comments. Anthony?
Comment. I just want to say thank you to the administration for recognizing all the volunteers and your generosity. It's well appreciated, so thank you very much. Fun night.
Mike?
Couple things, actually. I want to recognize the evening. Everybody that we had here this evening has contributed a lot to the district and the community as a whole. And I think it was an excellent idea to recognize them. And Thank you for that. I also, as we wind down the school year, I want to recognize Ron in his first year, having done, an excellent job in guiding the district, implemented a ton of new policies. I don't want to say policies, but initiatives, and really showed a lot of leadership, and for that, we're very thankful. And your team, as always, has done a spectacular job. Tom, Lisa, and everybody else. Just want to say it's really been great working with all of you this year, and looking forward to continuing to do that. So thank you very much for everything.
So I echo everything Mike said. It was a beautiful evening, and we're so fortunate here in Yorktown to have wonderful volunteers and organizations that work tirelessly for our children and our schools. So thank you to them. And I agree, it's been a great first year for Ron, and Lisa and Tom, your leadership and your vision has been invaluable. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to repeat everyone's comments as far as what this night was all about. Truly, you could never imagine how much time goes into any of these committees, any of our community partners. One event is just probably hundreds of hours, and we show up and it's pulled off seamlessly, and we go home, but the hours that went into these events are amazing. So thank you to all of our community partners. And I wanted to mention one other thing. The other night I was at the Science Research Symposium, and one of the students, it was Sal Pepe, got up there and talked about the positive effects of being a musician on things like test taking and how it contributes to the success of academic achievement. And when I looked at one of his first slides, it actually brought me back to about September 1st, when Dr. Hatter came and introduced the concept of e-STEAM to us. And I felt like almost 10 months later, we have flown with a concept that's really relatively new to us. And here was a senior who's been working on a science research project for 3 years, didn't even know this concept 3 years ago, and all of a sudden it was one of the first things on his slide. And he had incorporated this into his slide senior year. So it's not something he's known about for 3 years, because it's a new concept for us this year. That just shows me the momentum that this concept has taken and the buy-in that we've had from our staff, our students, and everyone in the school community. So that was really, put a big smile on my face, and it was sort of an aha moment and made me reflect back to the beginning of this year. So thank you for the concept, Dr. Hatter, and for bringing the momentum and motivating and allowing people to see how important the E is to the whole E-STEAM concept, to the STEAM concept. Thank you. So that was great. Lisa?
So I just wanted to thank you, Dr. Hatter, for bringing this evening out. I think it was Liz Talbert who said, we've all crossed paths one way or another over the past 10 or 15 years. I know Lisa O'Shea from Crom Pond, and almost everyone who spoke in one way or another. I've crossed paths with all of those people in some fashion over the past 10 or 15 years, and now I'm sitting here being proud to serve in this capacity for Yorktown. It's just an amazing community that no matter in what capacity you're asked to help out, people just step up and do it, and that's just shown here by the number of people. So thank you for recognizing everyone. Even though you're new to the district, you recognize that there's a long history of people who've been just doing it and doing it so well, just out of the kindness of their heart, and we're proud to have you be a part of it and for you to recognize. And then just what you've done for this district in the past year has really been amazing, and we want to take the time to thank you for everything you've done, along with your team, Lisa and Tom. We know you're not doing it alone, and you're doing it with them, so thank you.
Not much left to say. No, everybody said it very eloquently, and we do thank. We especially thank our community partners, because it is a partnership, and it shows that we are stronger as a team, and the team encompasses everybody, including the parents and the entire community, even the parents that don't have kids in the district that show up to things, which is really wonderful. It just tells you how much this district means to a lot of people. And we especially appreciate our leadership that sits at this table and everything they do. every day, and we won't go into the numbers of hours certain people in this district work, but that's okay. But we do thank you. It's been a tremendous year. We still have a few more meetings to go. We're not done yet. But these are the meetings that we celebrate the people in our district and the help that we've had all along, so we thank you. We thank you for recognizing us again this year. You recognized us once in the fall. You don't need to do it again, but thank you. I mean, we do appreciate it.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, wait, we're not appreciated, we're just recognized? I just want to clarify. No, but we just thank you. We thank everybody. Don't forget, there's a lot of good year-end stuff still going on in the district, so make sure you check our calendars and go see it. Ron, Lisa, Tom, anything?
Just, I appreciate all the kind words, but I think it was Isaac Newton who said, if I've been able to see as far as I've seen, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of giants. Tom and Lisa are my giants, and they are just absolutely wonderful to work with. I could not imagine a better team to be part of, and I think the three of us have just really gelled very well, and then the rest of the people who sit around the Monday at noon table, and you know who you are, it's just it really is a privilege to work with such talented people, and it's been such a wonderful year. And then this board, what a great board we have. I mean, you're the giants here too, and I'm standing on your shoulders and all who have come before me. So I appreciate the kind words. It really is a team effort, and we're all here together. There are so many wonderful, just to transition back to the wonderful things taking place in the district. Please go onto our website, take a look at the calendar. Senior Awards Night is tomorrow night. There's a celebrity scoop on Wednesdays, so if you'd like to see me scooping Italian ice for a good cause, 4 o'clock, I think my shift starts. So there's so many wonderful things happening year-end. Try to show up. There are still great concerts to come, great celebrations of all the wonderful academics that happen here in the district. Make it a point to try to show up, support our students. They've worked so hard this year, and it's a wonderful celebration of all that they've done.
Thank you. Anything, you guys? We're good? Can I have a public comment? Anybody wishing to speak? I can't forget that. All right. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, good night, everyone.